Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and I am here once again continuing the alphabet build challenge. We are currently on the letter C. So for the letter C, I did my little wheel spin situation, and I got Coquette, I believe is how it's pronounced. I could be pronouncing it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Coquette. But I also don't know French, so. But I had to look that up because I was like, I have no idea what this is. And it's basically supposed to be kind of a very hyper feminine aesthetic, but also kind of embodying like youthfulness and whatnot. And also like it's apparently associated a lot with Lana Del Rey. I know nothing about Lana Del Rey. I don't really like listen to her music or follow her in any capacity. But I did see a couple of like pictures and things to kind of give off the idea of what I guess Coquette is. And from what I saw, again, it was kind of like, your feminine kind of vibes, but also like kind of vintagey. So that's kind of what I went for. So I figured we'll go pink. Especially since the last couple of builds, I feel like we used a lot of like blacks and whites and, only had like a little bit of color. So I figured we'll go full on pink. And then I also figured that we would try to utilize a lot of like oldie kind of vibe things for that like vintagey look as well. Ignore the roof currently. I struggled a lot with the roof and I completely changed it. Well, somewhat changed it eventually after I finished the actual inside of the build. Luckily this time around it was a lot less of a struggle to utilize the rounded walls compared to B. B was not great. It was pretty bad actually, but this time we only needed rounded corners basically. We didn't need like full on like whole rounded rooms and whatnot, so it was a little bit easier and not as hard. So I was also able to keep it small like I wanted, because with B, I think I kind of talked about it in that video where I had to make it a little bit bigger than what I initially intended. So we were able to go back to our original size. And for the most part, like I said, I was just utilizing a lot of pink stuff and then a lot of stuff that like gave off like old kind of vibes. I think I did end up using some bits of, I think it was a luxury party pack. Is that what it's called? Or maybe not. Maybe that's not what it is. I don't know. I don't remember packs and whatnot. But the pack that came with that like gold toilet, I don't remember what that pack is. But I used a lot of stuff from that pack. Whatever that pack may be. And I pretty much tried my best to embody the femininity. Is that how you say it? I always struggle with that word. And also kind of having it like look, because I felt like also with it felt like it needed to be slightly luxurious too. I don't know, that's at least like the perception that I got from like the little bit of examples that I saw. So I really struggled with this because, I'm not one to use a lot of colors. So it definitely was a challenge for me. And I also typically don't use like the more old vintagey kind of bits and pieces that we have in the game because I don't love them. They're not really my style. So I don't utilize them too often. So I find it hard for me personally sometimes to decorate using those kinds of things because it's just not something that I naturally gravitate towards. So I feel like even though I did utilize some of the more vintagey pieces, I think that I also kind of utilized a good bit of like a bit of modern bits and bobs as well, but maybe not. I don't know. I also struggled with just the layout with this house. because it is very curved, but then also angular, and it's really small in general. I probably could have used and turned like the inside bits into rounded walls as well, but I was also traumatized from doing the bee, that I wanted to use the minimum amount of rounded walls as possible. And also, I just don't know how that would have ended up looking. I don't even know if that would be possible, honestly, because, you know, rounded walls are a pain. So I don't even know if that would actually have been possible. But the living room, the sim that lives here, they're going to be a book reader. They're going to not really have a lot of technology because I just didn't end up including that because, for one, like I said, it is a tight space. And then also it just didn't like fit the vibes either. Because that was like one thing too of like, I didn't really find a lot of TVs that like I felt like looked well and that I felt like could fit in the area. And then also it just couldn't find anything to literally fit in that area because it was so like tight and small and everything. For the wallpaper, that was another area that I really struggled with because, again, I just don't utilize these things, and so for me it's like, I don't love it necessarily. I wouldn't use it, so I'm like, does this look bad or does it look okay? I'm not sure, because I wanted to add a little bit of something besides just pink, so I was trying to initially add in a little bit of that like blue accent, and that's why I went with some of those wallpaper choices initially. But I do believe that I do change the main area wallpaper because I felt like it didn't really suit it. But here, let there be light. I finally add in some light so that I can actually properly see what I'm doing here. I feel like the kitchen was kind of like the easiest kind of bit for me because I figured I would just utilize those countertops and everything because those were the only ones that kind of gave me, you know, that vintagey kind of vibe, but like also fancy smancy, but also like kind of like that femininity vibe. I'm gonna just struggle with saying that word this entire video because I just can't talk. And then I went for pink appliances because, you know, we're being little pink girls today. This very well could also suit like a Barbie vibe, I feel like, because I did decide to go with pink as like my femininity part of it all, which obviously you don't have to use pink to be feminine, but that's what I chose because I felt like that was like the easiest way to kind of include that femininity part of it all. So as you can see here, I did go and change the wallpapers because I just wasn't confident in it all. And I figured that I would add in a little dining area over in this little corner. So I like the idea of like roundedness too, because I felt like that was kind of more feminine besides like having the like angular straight lines kind of vibes. So that's why I went with the rounded table, but it was still like a bit of a struggle because it is just such a tight fit and I wanted to make sure that everything was like functional. Honestly, I don't remember. I do think I did playtest it, so I think, and I'm pretty sure everything is functional is what I was trying to say, because I do think I had to change something in the bedroom because I decided I wanted to have a bathroom there. I am pretty sure I do add the bathroom back because obviously with the last build when I did B with our brat Summer, I was kind of worried about like not having a bathroom right next to the bedroom, which I did add with that one, but I wanted to make sure I had a little bit of a bathroom here too, just again because like I feel like you want to have your bathroom as close as to your bedroom as possible, so I just added that little situation there. I think I had to move some things around for it to be functional, but it should be functional because I'm pretty sure I play tested it. But it has been a minute since I did this build. Like always, I'm always behind when it comes to doing my voiceovers and like finishing up my edits. I always end up building or doing something else afterwards, so my brain gets a little lost sometimes on this what I've done and what I haven't done. But the bedroom is like super teeny tiny. I think this is like the smallest bedroom that I've done, or at least it seems the smallest bedroom that I've done so far. But I still like it. I feel like it's like comfy, cozy, and then it also has like that feminine touch where, you know, she has a nice like little vanity situation, so she can, you know, do her little makeup, whatever she may need to do. I also wanted to have like a little sitting area there too, because I feel like, you know, you need to utilize every little bit of space you got when you don't have much. I wanted to add in a little front rug area, but I struggled with this as well because I just felt like nothing worked perfectly, and I felt like sometimes it was like a little too much. But I honestly don't remember what rug I decided. I guess I decided on that rug. But that's like one thing I always struggle with is when the rooms are super close together, but it's more of an open concept. When you want to have like rugs in different areas, it just like when it kind of sort of overlaps, I'm just like, I don't love that. And so I don't remember if I ended up putting a rug in the living room area just because like of the potential of it, or it just being so close to the front one. Yeah, I just don't love that. And I also just struggled in general with deciding on a bed. As you can see, I go back and forth between so many beds. Because, you know, I'm an indecisive girl and it's just a struggle for me, honestly. So I honestly don't remember what bed I ended up deciding on. I think another one of my struggles here too was just like figuring out which bed went well with like a nice like feminine looking vibe carpet. So that was also a huge, you know, part of my decision there as well, to be completely honest, is I just wanted something that would fit that kind of area. I feel like I struggle with rugs far too often. I feel like it's not, I shouldn't struggle with rugs as much as I do. But see, as you can clearly see, I decided to move that little runner in the kitchen instead of the living room and went for a smaller rug for the front door. I didn't remember that, but now I'm remembering that decision now. And I felt like the kitchen was a little bare. So I cluttered it up a little bit because honestly I think this is probably like the biggest kitchen we've had so far, because we just kind of had like a little like alleyway kitchen, and then B was super teeny tiny because it was in one of the little holes. So for this one I had a lot of space to work with, so I cluttered it up a good bit. And then because like I said, I felt like it was a little bare, I added in the cabinets so it kind of filled in the space a little bit more. Um and whatnot. So I felt like this one I really did a lot more cluttering and decorating, because I also felt like it kind of suited the vibe of the aesthetic as well, where, you know, you want to have those little bits and pieces to kind of add in a more feminine touch to it. So because like I said, I was really heavily relying also on the pink, because I just like, it's just not necessarily my typical style for myself. I also struggled a lot with figuring out what to do for curtains, which I don't think I've put curtains in any of the other builds, but I felt like this one really should have curtains in it because it just felt right to me personally. So I struggled a little bit with deciding on which curtains to use, but I just went for these little nice little pink ones that are like nice and long. I did not put them in front of the stove situation because I just felt like that would look crazy, because obviously the countertops would be blocking that. So I tried utilizing some other what are they called, curtains, but I didn't love anything, so I think I ended up just leaving them bare because nothing was really working for me personally in that regard. And for the most part, I'm kind of finished with the main bits and pieces. So like I said, I kind of just went all out with the clutter, and so I think I mainly tried to look up like a lot of pink stuff, and then just a lot of like kind of vintagey vibes and everything to kind of fill in the spaces and everything. I don't know why I keep on saying everything, but that's kind of what I did for the last little bit. so that it looks nice and whatnot. Looking back, I definitely think that like the bathrooms could have probably been a bit better because I feel like they don't match the same kind of vintagey vibes. I feel like yes, like the toilet and the showers and stuff, or like the tub, kind of have like the like old school vibe, but like I think the tiling is a little bit more modern looking. But I didn't want the bathrooms to look like carbon copies of each other, so I wanted to do something a little bit different for both of them. So I ended up doing something that I think probably in the bedroom bathroom makes it seem a little bit more modern than what it should. But it's fine. You know, nothing will ever be perfect. And as you can see, I'm struggling with placing the dish rack situation. Um, but I honestly don't remember all what I add. I know I added a good bit of clutter to this kind of little vanity area because again, just wanted to make it have a little bit more than what it was giving because I felt like it was like really plain. I don't know. I feel like I didn't add this much to the other builds by any means, but I felt like they had just more personality to them. But I guess this is personality because like this isn't a typical home either. But I don't, I don't know. I just felt the need to add in a lot more to it than I did with the other one. So maybe I didn't actually, maybe this isn't like an absurd amount of things that I'm adding in, and maybe it's just all in my head because it feels foreign for me because it's not necessarily my style and I struggled a little bit with this. But I feel like for someone who doesn't use that much of color and whatnot, and this is definitely not my personal style, I feel like I did pretty well with this. But for the roofing, I cut out a lot of the roofing because I did a lot of roofing in the beginning and then I also did a lot of roofing here to get to this point. But I just really struggled with this because it's just the round walls, like they don't do well with roofing. So I decided to kind of just make the corner bits and like that little middle bit into like little like grassy areas and added a bunch of like plants and florals and whatnot to the roof because I just felt like that suited it better. And here I'm just doing my classic last minute situation where I'm adding in different lighting so that it gives, I feel like lighting definitely can help like give the builds a little bit more of personality. And for some reason, while I was doing the roofing, a lot of stuff was disappearing, so I had to like re-add that back and whatnot. But I felt like the lighting I used, I tried to like use stuff that kind of gave off like more cozy, warm vibes and whatnot. So that's pretty much what I did there. And the video is pretty much coming to an end now. So I will go ahead and close out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other ideas on different aesthetics and themes that I should do for these builds, put them down below and comment them down below. And I will catch you guys with the next one, and I'll see you soon. Bye!